What is going on, guys? DBG here, and today we are going to be doing another episode of the struggling to remember what these are. They are called tier lists. So what we are going to be doing is we are going to be doing a tier list of the best 2 guides in NBA 2K22 MyTEAM. So we have a lot of 2 guides on this list. This one is going to take a while. Some not great ones, some good ones, some that are good in certain modes, some that aren't. So if there is any situation that a card will be usable, they're not going to be in worthless. So anyway, now we are going to get onto it. First up is Gary Harris. So Gary Harris, I'm going to put Gary's either going C or B. It's like Gary, I need to see as we go on this list because Gary Harris is pretty good. If you guys don't know, Gary Harris, he's got 70 on Quick, which is the Jonathan Isaac release. He's got like gold clamps and stuff with his Evo. He was brilliant for the time. Like he came out in the 1st of October as far as I'm aware. Or these the first? Either way, early in October. If it wasn't the 1st, it was early. But he was really good for his time. Then we got Adrian Dantley. And Adrian Dantley's stats are okay. Like, his stats are completely fine. Like, if you're asking me, if you were to look at Adrian Dantley, you'd be like, okay, yeah, he's decent. But he's got that Manu base 18, which is, for me, just something that I'm not a fan of. It is really something I'm not a fan of at all, base 18. So if you can get away with base 18, then be my guest. He's a pretty decent card, but for me, I don't think so. Anthony Simons, at this stage in the game, Anthony Simons is D tier. Look, it is what it is. He was good. He was really good for a couple of weeks. He does one thing very well, and it's dunk the ball. But like, there are better dunkers than Anthony Simons. There are, like, the 2-man game isn't really the prevalent meta anymore. He used to actually be a meta player, which is hilarious. Like, he was the best roller in the game to start, but now he's going here. Bingo Smith, A. Bingo Smith's kind of got everything. He doesn't have any particular strengths, but he does everything all right. Like, he's an okay dribbler. He's a decent dunker. His defense is really solid. And just his overall game is good. It's hard to describe him because it's not like he's this absolutely just god tier card. Because as far as token rewards go, you could argue he's the best of them from last season. But he's just really okay. He's really just okay, and like I'm not low on him. I'm not that high on him. I was higher on him when he came out. Beal, I mean, Beal can shoot, and he's got like limitless spot up, which not a lot of cards from like week 2 had. So if you're asking me who's better, Beal or Simons, I still think I'm taking Simons. Like, I took Simons at the time. I still think I'm taking Simons. Cade Cunningham, I'm putting Cade in like D tier purely because he has a really nice duo. Like, Cade's duo is really decent. So for me, that alone puts Cade into he might go down to E tier. He really might go down to E tier. But like, he is pretty decent for limited situations. I think I might be too high with him. I think I might be a tier too high, to be honest. So yeah. We have got, I'm gonna put him in E tier. But Cade does have a good duo that actually makes him really good. I think, is it with Eric's? Who is that duo with? I can't for the life of me remember who he's. Oh, Pokashevsky. It's with Pokashevsky, I think. Where's Pokashevsky's with? Basically, there's a duo that Cade's in that makes Cade decent and the other player really good. Duarte's going B. Duarte's the second best player on this list. It's not even close. So Duarte doesn't dribble the ball particularly well. Just his overall game is good. Like, his defense is good. His release is really good. He comes with gold sniper, which again is not as OP now as it was when he first came out. Like, when Duarte came out at the end of season 1, it was still back when if a player had sniper, they never missed a white. So I just remember using Duarte and he just didn't ever miss for me. So I was super high. I'm not quite as high on him now as I was when he came out. Especially, obviously, he's a Sapphire and it's been like 7 weeks. So there's obviously going to be a lot better players that come out over that time. But no, Duarte's still pretty good. I'm pretty sure he was probably A last time. Cliff Hagan. This Cliff Hagan's D. This Cliff Hagan's not awful. I mean, he's pretty bad, but like, sorry, he was good when he came out. Like, I was surprisingly high on Cliff Hagan. Like, if you get him in draft, he's actually more than usable. But I say that, but like, who the hell is gonna, it's season 3, who the hell is playing draft? That is the biggest disappointment. And I told you guys, I told all of you guys that draft was gonna be a disaster before the game came out. Because it's 2K, and you guys didn't listen to me. I've been saying it for years. Who the hell cares about a new draft mode? They need to fix Unlimited. And you guys were just saying, oh, you're just complaining for sake of complaining. We've got a draft mode. Nobody cares. D'Lo, worthless. D'Lo sucks. Danny Ainge, D or E. Ainge doesn't really do much. But, I mean, he can score when he's wide open, I guess. Griffith, C. Griffith's not a great player. He's honestly not, so... He came out early in the year. He came out like really early in the year. So I understand why a lot of people will be high enough on Griffith, because he came out at a time when there weren't any real good cheap 2 guards. And when he came out, he was free and you could get him within 3 hours, which was nuts considering he came out in week 2 or week 3. Sorry. And we got David Thompson. I'm with David Thompson in D tier. I like David Thompson more than most people like David Thompson. I think he's just like a worse Darryl Griffith. His stats are pretty good. His badges, I don't think his badges are good. There was some huge flaw with him that I remember when I used him. I don't even mind his release. Like base 9, it's not like base 9's a good release. It's not as bad. Like it's nowhere near as bad as his release had been in other years. Like David Thompson used to be known in 2K for having a garbage release, and it's really not garbage. DeMar DeRozan is getting off D tier purely because his duo actually kind of allows him to shoot. But I'm just saying, DeMar is going to be... Have you guys seen DeMar DeRozan's dribble sigs? DeMar DeRozan has got all the Tracy McGrady sigs, except instead of slasher dribble style, he gets shifty. So like, he is a quick slash shifty Tracy McGrady as soon as we get a good DeRozan. So for everyone who is waiting for everyone wondering who the great 2 guard's probably going to be, if 2K decide to give us a DeMar DeRozan with like range and stuff, that is going to be the... That's going to be the 2 guard. Like, I really wish instead of Jay Rich, they gave us DeRozan. Like, if they gave us DeMar DeRozan as the unlimited reward, I think a lot of people would be super hyped. Because they would have at least made him a decent shooter. Because, again, DeRozan currently is actually shooting the ball quite well this year. So, yeah, now we got Des Mason. I mean, Des Mason, D, I reckon. I think D is probably the best place for Mason. Is he the greatest player in the world? Not really. But, he's not bad either. D's probably fair. Booker's B, but I mean, Booker can score. Booker, nah, he's A. Booker's going A. Like, as far as players go, Devin Booker's actually not a bad player at all. He just doesn't really play much defense. Donovan Mitchell, A or B? A probably. He's just undersized. If Donovan Mitchell was taller, he'd be brilliant. At the same time, again, if Steph Curry was taller, he'd be the greatest player to ever pick up a basketball. LeBron James was 7'7" and could do everything he did. He would be the greatest player ever. Heck, if Muggsy Bogues was 7'7", he'd be the greatest player ever. And we had Duncan Robinson. I mean, he shoots. Doesn't do anything else, but he shoots. Dwayne Wade, C. And like Wade, I didn't even like Wade when he came out. And then obviously they patched the Dame behind the back, so his behind the back is nowhere near as good anymore. He went from having the Pro 3 behind the back to like a fairly weak behind the back in Dame. Like Dame went from being the easily best behind the back. Actually, no, Kawhi is really good as well. I like Kawhi behind the back. But it went from being the best to a bang average behind the back. So like, I can't really justify putting him any higher than this tier. And like for anyone, I didn't even like Wade when he came out. So like I was probably the least high on Wade of anybody. Like I know there were a lot of people that were very high on that Dwayne Wade. I was not. I said he sucked the day he came out. Like, I don't know what it was. Like, everyone was so excited and I was like, well, first of all, Wade base is not very good. This is not NBA 2K20 anymore, where Wade was just god tier base. But because I was like, it wasn't even good last year, especially on next gen. It was not good at all. But, yeah, so now after Dwayne Wade, we got Quickly. How about Quickly in that D tier as well? Quickly might get moved down to E, but Quickly can score. Quickly can really score. As far as Sapphires go, I don't even mind Emmanuel Quickly because he's got a really good release. He can kind of move and he can play at the 1, and his player build is actually pretty nice. So I know he's small, but his player build is okay. But yeah, so that's why I'm going to put Quickly. Quickly might end up going down a tier, but you just never know. Just never know. For now, I'll keep him in here. Then we have got Jalen Green. I'm a Jalen Green E tier, although he was God day 1. He really was. Like, there's no reason to use him. There are 1,000 better Sapphire point guards than Jalen Green. Or say, that's better point guards. There are 2 guys in Jalen Green. If you guys don't know, the Ruby Jalen Green is like a completely different card. As in, like, they changed all of his SIGs. It's the weirdest thing ever. They changed his dribbling. They changed his shooting. They even changed his upper. I don't understand. I don't know how they managed to do that. And you might think, oh, was one of them his, like, rookie card from 2K20? No, they made him a Curry clone. Or they made him, sorry, a Rudy Fernandez clone in 2K21. So I don't even know what the story is with that. Like, they just changed. He's the only player who they changed his SIGs who has, quote unquote, like, his SIGs have been, quote, touched. But his day 1 card that came out before his, like, regular rosters card has it. Jalen Green is the best moving of every player on the list so far, including Donovan Mitchell. I'm just saying. Like, I don't think he's ain't spectacular, but he's also supremely underrated. The reason why he's so underrated was that when he came out, he was really expensive. Like, for what he was. So he was like a 10k MT Ruby card, which, while unheard of today, was equally as unheard of when he came out. So because he was so expensive, not many people used that Jalen Green, and they didn't realize just how just gassed his stats were and just how good his movement was for a Ruby. Harden, I'm putting this Harden in S. He might get moved down because obviously he's not even the best James Harden, but I think you guys know where, like, the Diamond's a no-brainer S tier. Like, I think Amethyst Harden might end up being borderline, but Diamond Harden, absolute, like, again, no one's gonna argue that Harden is a no-brainer. Diamond is a no-brainer S tier player. I'm gonna actually move some of these new players up because we have not. This is all just old players, and it's funny how players will, like, be in different tiers as time goes on, because certain players are, like, really relevant at the start, and then something will happen to the way the game's played, and they'll just become more or less useless. Jay Rich, I mean, offensively he's pretty good. He'll shoot from deep and stuff. He'll shoot well if you give him the right badges. But, like, again, he's not. Again, with cards like this, there are still a few of them that are completely badged up. These people badged them up straight away, early. So, yeah, he's going to go C. And we got Jaylen Brown. In my opinion, I think JB's not as good as Harden. I think Amethyst Harden's better than Jaylen Brown. And I've used both. I do like Jaylen Brown, though. Oh, like, Amethyst Harden is such a tough one. He's obviously the Diamond, absolute no-brainer S tier player. I think I might be the only person who puts the Amethyst in S tier as well. They're similar cards. Corver B. You might say, oh, how is Corver not a higher tier? I mean, his release is fine, base 17. His overall game, I just don't like it. I can't shoot with Corver. I don't know what it is. Like, Corver has a release that I like, which is the Gus Gerard release. I like Kyle Korver's release. I just can't score with, or I can't really score with the guy. This Devin Booker, he's the other Devin Booker, but he can get defensive badges. That's essentially it. That is essentially what the Devin Booker card is. He is the other pink diamond, but better on defense. For a lot of people, like, that's going to be worth quite a bit. But, like, for me, I think they play very, very similarly in game. So, yeah, we have got him here. Next, we have got Clay. No-brainer, the best 2 guard in the game. Absolute no-brainer here, lads. I don't think anyone will argue that Clay is either number 1 or number 2 Like, maybe you can argue T-Mac over him. I don't think you can even argue Red over him. Like, if you really want, like, a 6'8" 2-guard, then fair enough, you can argue T-Mac, but I think that's really it. Especially post-patch, actually, you can argue T-Mac, but Clay is ridiculous. Like, I put Clay as my #1 player in the game when I made the list last week. And even with the patch, I stand by that. He's still arguably #1. Troy Daniels is going B. Troy Daniels is better than every one of these guys I see here. He's genuinely is better than everyone. He might be better than Kyle Korver. Troy Daniels is really solid. Sloan, at this stage, D. Let's go to Worthless tier. We've been 15 minutes. Let's go to Worthless tier. First of all, just because of what this card represents, I am putting JJ Redick in Worthless. Wherever JJ Redick is. And Keon Johnson stinks. I'm just putting that out there as well. He absolutely stinks. Like, I get it, he's got shifty. I get it, he's got like high speed rating. He sucks. He absolutely sucks. And what these cards represent are wide or low. Screw it, no. Keon Johnson realistically is D. JJ Redick is E. JJ Redick sucks. I'm sorry, give me Bradley Beal over JJ Redick. Give me Jerry Sloan over JJ Redick. Give me Anthony Simons over JJ Redick. 70 speed. Keon Johnson at least has got 95 speed, but my god, does he suck at everything else. Okay, so then we have got Jerry Stackhouse. So Stackhouse, I'm a Stackhouse and C. He was a solid player when he came out. Okay, let's get the bottom tier guys in. Manu, worthless. Manu sucks. Manu absolutely sucks, lads. I just need to put that out there. Manu sucks. Who else sucks? I'm gonna have to move some of these guys down. I'm moving Redick down. Screw it. I'm gonna move Des Mason down. I'm gonna move Ainge down. Sloan's okay. Like, I think I might move Sloan down. Sloan isn't as good as Haven, is Cliff. Yeah, I'm happy as of right now anyway. Jim Paxson, D. Jim Paxson sucks. Jim Paxson's really not good. Especially for like a diamond. Joe Harris will literally just shoot the ball, and he will do it at a worse rate in my opinion than Duncan Robinson. At least Duncan Robinson is shifty. Josh Giddey. Josh Giddey behind the back patch was actually okay. He's a 6'8" guard. He can play lanes. He's actually better than all these guys in E tier. I mean, maybe K gets moved up. He's a 6'8" guard that can move a little bit. But maybe I move Giddey. Like, these two tiers blend in together. They really do. Like, why? Like, all these guys below C tier, why the hell would you ever use any of them in December? Junior Bridgman. I mean, Bridgman's like, he's all right. He's C. He's all right. Kobe Bryant. Now, this is the thing. I think I prefer Harden to Kobe. And I know most people would say the opposite. They would take Kobe over Harden, but I think I'm just going to take Harden over Kobe. For now, anyway. Like, my opinions on Kobe flip. Like, I haven't used him in a while. Screw it, I'll do this for now. LaMelo, I mean, at this stage of the game, LaMelo Ball's E tier. Latrell Sprewell, I mean, he's not very good. I don't like Latrell Sprewell, but he's B tier. I have him, he's okay. Lou Dort, C. Lou Dort's honestly C. He's as good as Gary Harris. Like, maybe, actually, no, he's slightly worse than Gary Harris. I remember people, when he came out, everyone's like, oh, this is just like an ML car at the 2. And then I was like, no, ML's way better than Lou Dort. And then when they came out with Matisse Thybulle, we were all like, now that's ML car for an auctionable ML car. Matisse Thybulle was that guy. Whereas Lou Dort was like a worse Matisse Thybulle. Luka Doncic, get into D. D for Doncic. Like, I'm not high on Luka at all. I think he sucks. I said it day one, the card. I made a video before, before the game came out saying Luka Doncic is going to suck. And people killed me for it. Did he suck? Yes. Yes, he did. And I'm sorry for anyone who did him and was trying to justify it to themselves that he was not awful. He was awful. So, I am sorry for anyone who did him, who did the challenge for him. Ray Allen, I mean, look, Ray Allen's S. Ray Allen's better than Harden. Ray Allen's better than Kobe. Ray Allen's better than JB. Ray Allen's the second best 2-guard on the list right now. Like, Kobe and JB might lose their spots here. They really might lose their spots. I think they both are. I'm going to both of them down. Oh, I don't. Yeah, I'm going to move both of them down. Like, at this stage of the game, there really are better 2 guys than both of those guys. So, now we have got Jordan Poole. Jordan Poole's going A. Jordan Poole's good. Like, Jordan Poole can move. Jordan Poole, he's just an all-around solid player. Again, he was a little bit on the expensive side, and then he just went really cheap. Like, Jordan Poole's, it's a weird one with him, because he went from being way too expensive to really cheap and a great budget player, and then he went all of a sudden expensive again, because moments cards are rare, and like rare cards can always have that fluctuation in price, and people don't realize, like, a lot of the time, like, if a rare card is ever hyped, even for a day, they will spike in price. If a card is like really common and they're hyped, like Jonathan Isaac when he was in packs, nothing's gonna happen. But like, as soon as the cards become scarce, like what's happening to the market right now, I'm gonna make a video on that tomorrow. Like, cards are going way up. Like, again, I made a 40k profit on a Penny Hardaway. Anyone who bought a bunch of Wall has gone from 150k. Wall was going for 150k when those super packs came out. He's like 300 now. So like, and that's the thing with Jordan Poole. Like, Poole has had stages where he's 10k. Poole's been 40k. Jordan Poole has been every single price. He's going A tier though. Kelly Oubre, wide-bodied big man, or wide-bodied 2-guard. He's actually not the worst player in the world for what he is. But Kelly Oubre Jr., his release is a little bit slow, so he's going to go B tier. Then we got Marquez Johnson, D. I did not like him even on day one. Michael Cooper, D, was good on day one, but I mean, he hasn't been good since. Michael Jordan, like, low A? Is Jordan even A? Is Jordan even better than Corver? Like, I know maybe I'm like undershooting at Jordan. That Jordan will play defense. He doesn't play offense. Or at least he doesn't play much offense anyway. I'm not high. I'm a very, very low on Jordan. I never liked Jordan in 2K. Sure, if I got Jalen Green up there, I kind of have to put Jordan up here. But, like, he's not good. Money Mitch is B. Money Mitch is B. He plays no defense whatsoever. He's not as good as Booker, in my opinion. He's going to go B tier. And Monte Ellis. Monte Ellis getting to C. And Monte Ellis was not even good. Like, I remember when he was announced and everyone saw a 2-guard. I was live at the time when 2K tweeted out. I was like, 2-guard small forward Monte Ellis. Everyone's like, what are you doing? Like, he's an undersized point guard that can't even play point guard. Like, at least his stats are okay. Which puts my head like a Beal, but still. Birdsong, high D, low C. I mean, I don't think he's terrible. I don't think he's very good either. Paul Westphal at this stage of the game. Paul Westphal's D. This Ray Allen, same tier as Beal, wherever Bradley Beal is. That's where he's going. Rip Hamilton. Okay, I'm putting Rip in A, but he's high A. Like, Rip's with Kobe and Rip is with Jaylen Brown. I'm not as high on Rip Hamilton as most people are. Because I'm just like, well, dude is literally a cone. And I get it. Is he a good cone? Yeah, he is. He is a good cone. But the MT bias and the fact that he is a lock-in for one of the most expensive sets in history. Like, that mask set, when it came out, was literally the most expensive set there has ever been in 2K. Like, we have, like, is it clouding my judgment? Most definitely, but I mean, I'm cool with being anti-MT bias on this channel. I'm cool with that. Richie Garn, C. Richie Garn's actually probably better than... I initially thought he was worse than, like, Darryl Griffith, and he was worse than... I had Griffith, I had the likes of him, Gary Harris and stuff, and the more I've played, the more I'm like, I've actually used Garn a few times, just, again, for a little bit of fun. And that's the best thing with clutch times, that I can actually start using these players again for fun. I don't need to, like, worry too much about... I don't need to worry too much about sweating, because I don't care about my record anymore. But Ron Boone, I mean, Ron Boone's A. He really is. There's so many of these guys in A. So many just awful players in this tier list as well. I think I definitely might have to change around some things. There definitely needs to be more players in Worthless. There are not enough guys that are in Worthless because a lot of these guys are worthless. Like, I was like, if Paul Westfall at this stage of the game is in 2 tiers above Worthless, there's no reason to use him. So let me just move some of these guys down. Kean Johnson, Giddy, Paxson. You know, I'm going to keep those other guys all there in that D tier. There has to be guys moved down to C. You know what? There's not many guys in B. So, OJ Mayo, you get into C tier. OJ Mayo's not that great. I mean, he can hold badges. I guess he's better than Wade, probably. He probably is better than Dwayne Wade, but if you're asking me, is Dwayne Wade that good? No. Like, OJ Mayo's release is good. He's way better. He's like a way better version of Des Mason. But again, like, that's not saying much. So I'm gonna put it out there. Calling card a way better version of a garbage man is not really saying too much. So, yeah, he's gonna go into that tier. Terrence Ross, E. I hate him. I've hated him since the day he came out. I know people like him. There's no one else that I'm gonna put in Worthless tier. Like Jim Paxson, who was in a higher tier. I don't even know why I put Jim Paxson highest tier. Higher tier. He's probably the closest to Worthless in this tier, just because he costs 60 tokens. Terry Rozier, see, he's tiny. Like, Terry Rozier is 6'1", can't really dribble that well. He's also like, his movement, or not his movement, his shooting's good. Like, I've played against him a few times. His wingspan is long. His defense isn't great because of the wingspan. Like, he's a card that 2K, I hoped were gonna make him good because they made a big deal out of him coming out, but nah, Scary Terry's not really it. He was only like an hour and a bit to get though, so it's not like Terry Rozier took an age to get. Like, if he took the 2 hours that it took to get like DJ, I'd be a lot more disappointed than I actually am. So then we have got Jordan Clarkson. Jordan Clarkson's going B. Jordan Clarkson offensively is really good. I don't care what anyone says. Offensively, Jordan Clarkson is really, really good. So, like, he shoots the ball well. He moves well. His defense isn't even that bad. He's going to go there. Other Terrence Ross go to the end. Tyler Hero, 6'3" wingspan, keeps him at C. But he actually can kind of score. Like, he scores surprisingly well. But he doesn't do anything else. Like, he is a scorer. He's not going to play defense because, again, his wingspan is 6'3". And if you're wondering, he's 6'5", so it's not like it's a 6'3" wingspan and a 6'3" player, which is still pretty rough. He's a 6'5" player to 6'3" wingspan, so he literally has T-Rex arms. And there is another guy later on the list who is literally the exact same, who has all the exact same SIGs as Hero. Like, he does have shifty, he can shoot from deep. He's got the Trae Young base on quick, which is essentially like any other release on very quick, because that release is, it can at times. I once genuinely thought for a while that release was too quick to green. But once you get used to it, it's good. It's the old 107 from NBA 2K20. Well, I mean, like, I was about to say, we had Trae Young for 3 years now. We all know what Trae Young's release is going to be like in 2K. Just because it was the old 107 was not the most loved release doesn't mean that Trae Young's release isn't now. Halliburton D, Levine A. Levine is still an absolutely elite offensive player. Like, he really is. Like, in terms of just pure offense at that 2-guard position, like, look, there's Harden. Harden's better. In terms of, like, creating, Harden's better. Clay's better. And I don't know who else is better in terms of pure shot creation at that 2-guard position. So, a card that's as good as he is, it's tough. Offensively, it's tough to not put him in A. McCollum B. McCollum's pretty good as a point guard. Like, again, is he available right now? He is. He's available. He is available right now. Actually, no, he's not. There's no 15. No, he is. I think there's like 60k plus the 15k. So I don't think anyone's got him yet. But if you do get CJ McCollum, you've got a base 4 player. He's got a shifty dribble style. His player build is a little bit small. defensively, he's going to struggle, really struggle. Offensively, he's going to be more than able to compete. I think that base 4 is a okay release on a point guard. But, like, you're not really going to play him at the 2. He's kind of like a... He's kind of like a worse Donovan Mitchell, honestly. Cliff Hagan, A. Cliff Hagan's high A. I'm going to have to move some of these guys at A as well. First one, Jordan, get down. You get down, Jalen Green. I didn't even mind Jalen Green. I really don't. But, I mean, if I'm putting Michael Jordan down, you got to be next, unfortunately. So, then we have got... Or who else going down from this tier? Bingo, Poole, Mitchell. Am I being too harsh on some of these? I just don't want everyone in A tier, so that's what I'm going with. Clyde. I mean, Clyde's A. Put another player up here in A tier, I guess. In comes Clyde Drexler. Clyde, no question about it. Really good release. You could argue Clyde at Benes. You really could. We'll see what happens when we go through all these players. Sexton B. Sexton's really good as a point guard. His movement is really nice. He's just undersized. He's just really undersized. Screw it, he's better than Ron Boone. What am I talking about? Ron Boone, get down. This Devin Booker, get down. And then we're going to have to start moving guys down tiers. No, I'm happy with Loden B. I'm cool with Loden B tier. Maggette, C. He's not actually awful, but like, why the hell would anyone have got him? D'Angelo Russell, B. I mean, everyone at this stage is just meh, is going B tier. Like, these top 2 tiers are the top 2 tiers for a reason. Danny Green. Now, Danny Green's going A. Danny Green has got Hoff clamps, an absolutely incredibly easy to green release, range extender. He moves kind of well. His speed's good. His defense is good. Like, he will hit shots. Like, you can more than use this guy. Like, give me Danny Green over any player. He's like a way better version of Chris Duarte. Is his dribbling the greatest? No. But at the end of the day, like, he's a Hoff clamps player who's got a good steal rating, decent speed rating, range extender, and he's 30 tokens. Maybe I'm being budget cheap token card biased, but I mean, he's not going to make my team because my team's pretty good right now. But if I had to use Danny, I'm pretty sure anyone that's really good at this game would have this being Danny Green. If I had to use Danny Green, I'd be fine. And that's what I'm confident everyone else is. Del Curry is such a good shooter. I'm putting him in C tier. Is that the tier where I got Troy Daniels. Troy Daniels getting to C. Troy Daniels getting to C. He offers really nothing on the defensive end. He does shoot the ball really well though, so I'm happy with that. But yeah, so we got him in C. And we got DeShawn Stevenson. Again, a C tier player. Like, these guys, like DeShawn Stevenson, if you are really stuck, like, I'm telling you, if you are like really stuck or there's some weird reason, I don't know what the reason would be. Like, there's reasons why I'll use him. There's not many reasons why other people would use him. If you really have to use DeShawn Stevenson, he's fine. Like, you can get away with using, maybe not in high bracket SPMM Unlimited, but like, you can get away with using him at TTO. You can get away with using him at clutch time. Like, he's fine. That's one thing I like about the no SPMM and clutch time is you actually don't have to sweat every freaking game. You can say, you know what, I really want to use this Sapphire. I can want to use Troy Daniels, and it's not an automatic freaking loss. That's the best thing ever about clutch time. That's what people don't get. Like people are like, when people complain about SPMM, they're like, oh, you just don't want to play sweats. Like, first of all, no, because nobody wants to. If everyone wanted to play 2K competitively, then there would be more than 100 competitive 2K players in the world. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? We want to play the game for fun. We want to use other players. Like, once I hit 50 for Dame, I'm using other players. I've used Troy Daniels a few times. If you come up against me in clutch time, I'm using some weird players. I'm using all these players. I'm enjoying it. And if you're playing in non-SPMM mode like clutch time, these guys are actually fun players that you can use. So then we get Doug Collins. Doug Collins is actually solid. He's gonna go B. He's not bad at anything. A lot of people have got him. It's very easy to tell what he's gonna be. I don't have him. I've never used him. But like, he's got Draymond release. He's got a decent player model. I checked out his player model before the card came out, and it's just overall everything about the card is pretty nice. So he's gonna go B. I don't think he's quite cracking A. Derozan. As much as I would love to put Derozan, the guy who carried me to Dame Lillard, into S tier, I'm not putting Derozan in S tier. I'm just not. I mean, you could make that argument. I think you genuinely can make the argument that Derozan Petrovic is an S tier player, because he's actually good on defense. You give him gold interceptor and he's a really good defender. He's got 85 steal, he's got 85 perimeter, he's got like 89 lateral quickness, which again is something that people don't realize. Everyone's like, oh, literally people are going to me, he has no defensive badges or stats. Like, his only bad defensive stat is the fact he has a 27 block. Like, that is literally the only thing he does badly in defense is a 27 block. He is a very decent defender, Derozan Petrovic. Like, I replaced Derozan with Dame. Derozan's so much better as a defender than Dame Lillard. It's not even funny. Like, it's not even funny. And then obviously you can just give a bunch of D badges to Derozan, and he becomes a really, really good defender because his defensive stats are there anyway. The only badges, he just doesn't have Interceptor and he doesn't have Intimidator, which is not great. But if you want to give Derozan Gold Interceptor, or you can buy one Gold Interceptor, you've got one of the best 2 guys in the game. The only reason he's in A tier is that, like, Micah Red is just a better version of Derozan. Like, I'm not even gonna like say otherwise. Micah Red is literally just better Derozan. So there's no way I'm putting a card who has a clearly superior alternative in S tier. Dylan Windler, he can kind of shoot, but he's D. He's actually got Clay release on quick, which is the exact same as Clay. And he's got like Shifty. He's got clone. He's a left-handed Clay. He's got his Sigs are a clone of Clay's. So if you really like to run with Clay, and you want to run with a Sapphire that's like similar to Clay, like he's obviously the most similar since he's a clone. You know what? Screw it. Where's Windler? Windler's in C. Eddie Jones. I'm sorry. S. Eddie Jones is, again, he is my current. If I'm sweating for quick wins in clutch time, or even in unlimited, my starting 2 guard is Eddie Jones. Half Interceptor. Half Interceptor, goal quick first step, a 90 driving dunk, a 90 3-pointer, base 31. In my opinion, Eddie Jones is as good as Jason Richardson. I've used both. Eddie Jones cost me 10k, he's now 20k, and he is still a steal for that price. So even though Eddie Jones is a card that is cheap, he is an amethyst, this guy is better than most of the pink diamonds in this game. Like, genuinely is better than most of them. So I'm all on the Eddie Jones hype train. And I've been on the Eddie Jones hype train since the day he came out. I think I sold my Derozan to buy Eddie Jones in the Road to Gary Payton series when these cards came out. And I mean, I think Eddie Jones is better. And we got Fournier. Fournier kind of sucks. Fournier's B. Like, I don't see a way in which Fournier is really better than if you guys know anything about Landry Fields, I don't think he's really better than Fields. Hal Greer, C. I don't like him at all. He's like a worse CJ McCollum. Hamidou Diallo. Look, he's not very good, but I can't put him worthless because he's a gold. So he's actually one of the better golds in the game. So there are definitely uses for him. So he can't go in the worthless. Harden. I'm just gonna put the 20 or this James Harden S tier. Now this is where my controversial one's gonna be. Micah Red's gonna go into S. And now, this is the one. Okay, I'll just put the other ones in first. So Smart, as much as I would love to put Smart in S tier, Marcus Smart's going A. Again, top high A tier for Marcus Smart. Really high A tier for Marcus Smart. Kevin Huerter, B. Huerter versus D-Book. Huerter is literally a 6'7" guy with Trae Young base on very quick, who has got shifty dribble style. Like, he's ridiculous. Lou Dort, B. Really solid defender. That's kind of it. Bones Highland. I'll go D. I'll go D for him. You have to be better than these guys at E, but not by much. And then we got J Rich. And now this is the tough question. It's like J Rich. There's only gonna be 5 in S tier. J Rich versus Eddie Jones. Like, let's just say J Rich versus Eddie Jones versus Ray Allen. J Rich versus Eddie Jones. It's so tough. I think I'm gonna, like, look, I'm gonna put this right now. If I'm putting 5 on this list, if I'm putting 5 in S tier, I'm doing this. But I know the comment section are gonna kill me. And we're gonna put Jason Richardson into S tier. Not that big a fan. As in, I'm a big fan, but like not like I think Eddie Jones. I just don't think he's better than Eddie Jones. I think he's brilliant. Like I think he's the top 5 or 6 2 guard in the game. I've used them on both gens. He's definitely better on current, but like I'm still taking 100 times out of 100 Eddie Jones because of the half interceptor badge. I think the half badge is that, like, I think it's hard to get to the basket with Jay Rich, who abuses better dunking. I think shooting wise they're the exact same, and I just overall think Eddie Jones is the better player. So anyway, yeah, that is pretty much it, lads. If there are any players that I forgot, let me know. And lads, again, we are fully sticking with the troll. If I did forget someone that's really, really good, please respond to every comment saying they're in C tier. Like in the last one with Ja Morant, it actually got to the stage where when people were asking, where's Ja, people were commenting being like, oh, he said he was actually B or C tier. It got to the stage where there are literal posts on the NBA MyTEAM Reddit complaining about me putting Ja in C tier when I said he was realistically an S tier player. So please, lads, if I forgot anybody, troll the living daylight of the people that didn't watch the video or didn't even come to this part of the video and just tell them it's in B or C. So anyway, yeah, that's pretty much it. That's the video. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.